All right, let's do some Lamrim, and then we'll do questions and answers, okay? We're at Kamdo Gyula KMK. Okay. Kamdo Gyula KMK Yan, De Gyula KMK. Whether or not you have refuge within your heart depends on whether or not you have refuge in your heart. That's what it says. Deche Kamdo Tsik Bung Ter Sakyan Kamdo Ngo Gyulama Kepa Tenda Michepa. So there's a tradition in Tibet that people will go on a retreat and try to collect 100,000 mandal offerings, 100,000 prostrations, 100,000 going for refuge. So he says, it's okay if you want to do that, but it's more important that you feel refuge in your heart by refusing to answer someone who hurts you, right? Okay? So you have to make efforts to think refuge and not talk refuge. Okay? Think refuge and not talk refuge. Now we talked about a little bit about this the other day when we did debate. And here it comes. Those of you, Nick and Aaron and Adam and Katie, when we were talking about cause refuge and result refuge, okay? So you can go to refuge to, for example, Buddha, which somebody else already achieved, like Gautama Buddha, okay? You can take refuge in the Buddha who already reached Buddhahood, okay? That's called Gyui Kyamdo, means cause refuge, okay? It's acting as a cause for you to become a Buddha, okay? Gyui Kyamdo Tsamboa, that's called simple refuge. Dang Rangyu da Jungyu ki Koncho da Migne, Deni Topchar Tache bi Kyamdo Kepar. That's called normal refuge. Then special taking refuge is to try to connect with the Buddha that you will become and take refuge in that Buddha who is still to come, okay? And as I said, it's a very sweet practice to talk to yourself, future Buddha, because future Buddha can see you. Nancy Giovanazza Buddha can see you right now. So sometimes I just like to say hi, okay? And your future Buddha is watching you now, okay? They're probably asking you to hurry up. Okay. Then there's a different level for each Lamrim practitioner who takes refuge. Rang re shung chamber to some chepa ngaki kyamdo kepa chenina tsor begoki. Kyamdo che remana lomnyo che chepade pemi topar. Pelba kimba gembe kyamdo dan kepa machungani to some chepa kanang de machope nombayan. He says there's a difference between the way untrained people take refuge and the way that trained people take refuge. So he's talking here about Pelpa Kimba Gembo means like some old person who never got training on refuge, and they will, go to the temple and make incense and say, I take refuge like that. But they don't understand how to think refuge. So think refuge is the problems I see are coming from me, and so I can change them, okay? That's real refuge, okay? Like your husband. Shung chemo mi shepe kyang gyuni sangwe gone kojo la loling gelche. So shung chemo mi shepa means people who didn't get trained properly. Buddhists who didn't get trained properly. Gyuni sangwe gone kojo la lingelche. They can have this emotion that I put all my trust in the Buddha for the two reasons, okay? There are two reasons for refuge, very famous. What are they? Number one, yeah. It's like, I grew up with 3 brothers, no sisters, and we had a lot of, punching going on from time to time. And, my brother would hit me, okay? That's the first cause of refuge, is pain. And the second cause of refuge is you think there's someone who can help you. So you run into, mom's room and say, Mommy, he hit me, okay? So those are 2 causes of taking refuge. You have a problem, and you have someone you think who can help you. Mommy will go tell brother not to do that, okay? So when somebody's sick, and they go to a doctor, and they try to take medicine, and they trust the nurses, they put their trust in those 3 things: doctor, medicine, and nurses. We have to think like them. We have to make sure we understand why taking refuge. Number 1, understand the problems you have, Even if you don't have any problems now, you're alive. And you won't be for long. That's a problem, okay? All right, that's already a problem, all right? Being alive is a problem. Even if you don't think you have any problems, you have a problem, okay? The moment you're alive, you're getting old. The moment you're getting old, you're going to lose this body. And then where you're going to go after that, we don't know, okay? And this body is very brief and hard to keep alive. Secondly, I think that the Buddha can help me. Okay? Most important is to trust that refuge. Then if you don't understand the concept of refuge in the sense of the emptiness, then even if you say 1,000,000 times, I go for refuge, even if you think you're a pretty powerful bodhisattva or a pretty powerful tantrika, if you don't have refuge in your heart, then it's not going to work. Okay. The early Kadampa Lama said, Nathan Shalmar Sikchik Dupala Dadu Namba Sangepe Cheldu Matsuche Sum Shindroyan. Okay, here's that famous quotation, okay? I taught you all the ideas already. Now I just want you to hear it from scripture, okay? Nathan means abbot, elder, like the 16 arhats. Shel is honorific for face. Marsik means he's looking down on us. The abbot is looking down from his throne. Chikdupala, but Dadung Namba Sangye. But he didn't become a Buddhist yet. We're hoping he will. Okay, the abbot of the monastery, of one of the big monasteries, maybe 10,000 monks. He isn't a Buddhist yet, but we're hoping he will become one later. Okay, it's an old joke. Okay, Shiba Kyab Susongwe Panyin La. These are the benefits of taking refuge. I put them at the end of your debate sheet. Okay, so when do we debate? Tomorrow? Must be. Some people are debating tonight in their cabin. But here are some of the classic 8 benefits for taking refuge, okay? They're not all of them on your debate sheet, but most of them are, okay? Number 1, Namba Sangye Patsupa. If any person who refuses to answer another person who criticizes them because they understand that the person is criticizing them because they answered last time, okay? Then that person became a Buddhist. And I like to think, 7,000 people came to DCI programs the last tour, 2 weeks. If they understood about seeds, they're Buddhist. It doesn't matter what they think they are, it doesn't matter. They're Buddhist, okay? Got it? It's cool. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you need to take refuge in order to have Buddhist vows. You can't take lifetime vows. You can't take 10 commitments. You can't take monks' vows, nuns' vows, bodhisattva vows, tantric vows. You can't take any of them if you haven't taken refuge, okay? And if you don't understand what it is, then you can't, your body won't hold the other vows, okay? Number two. Number three. All bad karmas that you did are, what do you call it? Disabled by your current understanding. They cannot open, okay? They will just sit there in your mind stream forever, okay? And they will never open.
Might sound like a silly question. Why don't the ignorant good karmas also get disabled?
They are fed by not understanding seeds. You see what I mean?
But the ignorant good things I did were also ignorantly done.
Yeah, that's true.
Are ignorant good things like the bird food tree kind of?
We call sakme kigewa, sakche kigewa. Sakme chinam sakche sapame lama tobe duchinam sakche kanju dera lasanam kunu geba gesame langi damanon dume chinam sunyante nanga dani gobani gela nanga madiba. Oh, that's the verse. Abhidhamma Kosha. Gewa sakche means good things you do by without understanding what you're doing. And then those good karmas wear out. And then there's good karmas you do with understanding. Generally, karmas that good ones that you do that you appreciate, grow. Good karmas that you do ignorantly, and you don't burn them. Selfish is okay. There's a beautiful debate in the beginning of the Madhyamaka Avatara where Chandrakirti asked the question, will a good deed done by a selfish person work? Will it have a result? And the answer is, yeah, it will. But then the karma of the bad motivation will catch up with them also. Okay. So that's a famous question. But generally, the two things, anger can short circuit a seed, a good seed, and misunderstanding can short circuit a good seed. And understanding can short circuit a bad seed, like when you do the 4 powers. Is that okay? Like that? Anything else? Did I miss something?
I'm just trying not to be biased against the good, but only the bad things.
Say again? Oh, yeah, I understand. Why isn't the process the same between good seeds and bad seeds? Yeah, that's a good question. Bad seeds get hurt by understanding. Good seeds get hurt by misunderstanding. Okay. All right. Number 4. When you take refuge and you do something good, it gets stronger. It's more powerful. He says, he adds the word delaktu. Delaktu means you don't have to put a lot of effort into it. If you're doing good deeds, trying to do the 4 steps, it works faster and easier, okay? Number 5, mida mimayinki nepe mitsukpa. Things that other people try to do to hurt you and things that spirits try to do to hurt you don't touch you, they don't reach you, okay? That's number 5. Number 6, you will not go to the lower realms after you die. Number 7, all of your dreams, whether short-term like financial security or long-term like reaching enlightenment, you can reach effortlessly. Okay? And then number 8, Nirdu Tsangya, you become a Buddha faster. You reach enlightenment faster. Okay? Now he's going to explain those 8 in more detail. Okay? Very galupa. And I'll go for a while. We're doing pretty well. Not that well. But I'll go for a while, then we'll take questions, okay? Data Kendo Chekap Shenkin Lemo Tabu Katsam Dang. Then he says, like when we were in Thailand, there was 400 students in the class in the retreat, and we announced that we're going to get refuge vows, and everybody got excited. And the ones that didn't get excited felt pressure to do it anyway because everybody else was doing it. And that's called lemotsam in Tibetan. If you're interested, lemo, lada lemo, means, what do you call it? Following the crowd. Okay, following the crowd. Tavakatsam, don't do that. Siksam mimbar, don't just say that refuge words. Ning tapane kyabsasongte. Believe that there's some danger ahead of you, and really, really ask them to help you. Ask the Buddhas to help you. Kyamdo nanda gila namkepana. If you take refuge properly with your husband in the kitchen, Namba Sangepatsu, you become a Buddhist, and De Mepar, if you don't understand that process, Kyamdo Bum Sak, and even if you do the refuge prayer 100,000 times, which is a custom, Nambar Matsu, it doesn't make you a Buddhist. It won't make you a Buddhist. Okay. Then Kyamdo So Go Sewa Le Gyula Kego Serken Kun. He says, nowadays you hear people say, I gotta go collect. We use a rosary and we say, I go to Buddha Dhamma Sangha, Buddha Dhamma Sangha, Buddha Dhamma Sangha. And you hear people say, I gotta collect it on my rosary, but you don't hear them say, I gotta collect it in my heart. Okay, I have to collect it in my heart. Ngar Dapo Gelang Atar She, there was a monk named Atar from a place called Dakpo. Dawo Cheki Kyamdo Sar. This is a famous story. There was this guy named Atar, and he went with a couple other guys to like a cave, and they all took their rosaries, and they wanted to see how many refuge prayers they could collect in like a week. Okay. Then Atar ki Kyamdo Dunla no sam lek parkone. Then Atar made a mistake. He did them slow. And he thought about it. Okay. Lek parkone sakpe yuringor. Then his friends finished their 100,000 like 2 days before he did, and they got irritated with him because they had to wait for him. Shenam ki Kyamdo tsikta sopa shigde machue gyokpa chungde. The others finished faster because they weren't trying to think about what they were saying. Bumter Sindhu Nyewana, and when they were close to finishing 100,000, Konsu Atar ki Chama Long Tongne, they got, Tokpa here is a useful word. It means suspicious or paranoid or schizophrenic. And here it means they had a suspicion that Atar was too slow, was being too slow. Malon Tonne, Jitsamsong, and they asked him, how many are you up to? Because they didn't want to wait for him. Atarki, Kitsu Kyamdo Changa Sokin Yedam Sarva. He said, are you just trying to reach a number? Is that all we're doing here? He criticized his friends. He said, are we just trying to reach a number? So it's okay to do 100,000, but as you do it, you have to imagine taking real refuge in the kitchen, okay? In some ways, I know the 3-year retreatants who will agree, 3-year retreat's a little bit of a, what do you call it? You feel like you don't have all the opportunities you have in the outside world to take refuge, because no one's irritating you quite at that frequency level, except for spiders and stuff. So sometimes I miss people when I'm in retreat because I can't make such good karma. Okay. If you think about what you're saying, then it makes it. Okay, number 2, it acts as a foundation for all your vows. Domsum kan ke lang kyang, whether you take pratimoksha vows, bodhisattva vows, or secret vows. Kyamdo, somebody asked me the other day, would you like me to come teach Tantra to your students? You know, and I'm like it's like, you don't have Tantra, you know. We spent, how many years? 7 years doing Tantra, and we translated 10,000 pages of Tantra, but we didn't show it to anybody. Okay? Because Tantra means secret. And no, I don't need someone to teach my students secret teaching. Okay. Cannot say to check Gurki. They may par Mikewa Somche to check. No matter which vows you want to take, Kyamdo Somche to check. It always starts from taking refuge. Gurki, they may par Mikewa. But if you don't have refuge and you try to take vows, they don't grow inside of you. Okay. Perna sashini kankim dan loto sishin naksel so kiwe tenyimba. Then I gave you this meditation with a fruit tree. And the idea is taking refuge is like the nutrients in the soil. And then your vows are like tree. And the fruits of your vows are keeping your vows. And when the fruits of your vows grow, there's always a little refuge vow in them. And so if you don't have that kind of fertilizer in the soil, there won't be fruits. They won't grow. Okay? Where I live, you have to add a gypsum and Epsom salts and what do you call that stuff? Well, biochar. But anyway, okay. So the earth is the foundation of all houses, of all crops, of all trees, of forests, etc. It's like who said that? Lenin or Marx? The earth is the source of all wealth. The soil is the source of all wealth. Ultimately, everything comes down to the soil. And ultimately, all vows come down to refuge. Okay, like the soil. Okay. All right then. Number 3. All bad karmas you made are cleared away. Kyamdo yuna ngun sakpe leki dipa amambo zepa gyalpo make de rangi yap sukchen nimbo chelmi yong debu toba tong pa sok tsame. What's a tsame? Tsame, not seme. Tsame nga. Yeah, the 5 immediate deeds. If there's 5 things, if you do them, you go straight to hell after you die. First one, kill your mother, kill your father, kill an arhat. Then draw blood from a Buddha in anger. Okay, not as a nurse. What's the 5th one? Yeah, split the Sangha. So he gives the example of a famous prince named Ajatashatru. Ajata means not born yet, Shatru means enemy. And somebody told his father, your son is going to kill you. He's your unborn enemy. when his wife got pregnant, this what do you call it? Soothsayer said, "Your son's going to kill you when he grows up," but still she wanted to have the son, right? So his name was unborn enemy, Ajatashatru, and then he killed his father, who was a Chilmyong. What's a Chilmyong? Just before Arhat. Don't have to come back. Non-returner. Okay. Just before Arhat. Killed his father. Who's Bimbisara? Yeah, he sent the wheel of life to the other king. What's the other king's name? Yeah, Udayana, which is probably Raudrayana, but anyway. Okay. Chilmyong Devatopa Trong. Trong means he murdered him, his father. And so he committed some people like that. Nyewe tsam me chepan sagila kyapsa sowe ne dipachama. And even if there's 5 deeds you can do that are close to that. And he said, if you take good refuge in the Buddha, you can purify those. Sangi ki sen sam jopatang, sherchin ki dotabu tsare lakdang, kalpamama diktip jang. Even if you just repeat the name of the Buddha, or your teacher, of course, or you repeat one of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutras like the Dhammakaya or the Heart Sutra, Jinkanjin, Shinjin, Penyin, Kalpa Mama Diptit Jang, many eons of bad karmas are erased. Do Dene Penyin Yang Yang Subatar. It's said in the sutras many times. Do you want to know what the 5 close ones are? I went and got it for you. Oh man, stop. My computer's cranky. So the 5 close ones are close to the 5 real ones. They have a, what do you call them? Sympathy. Sympathetic? They're sympathetic somehow. Okay. Changsam ne sepe ne. To kill a bodhisattva who is close to reaching the goal is similar to killing your father. Okay. I'm about to tell you. I went and looked it up. It's defined as a bodhisattva who hasn't seen emptiness directly yet, but who is going to become a Buddha within 100 eons. I'll say it again. A bodhisattva who hasn't seen emptiness directly yet, but he will become a Buddha within 100 eons, or less. To kill that one is called a close 5, one of the close 5, close to the main 5. So there's 5 same, and there's 5 close ones. Okay, so that's supposed to be similar to killing your father. Deshin du mada chomba machoma loyem ki sunjuma. If your mother is an arhat and you rape her, that's close to killing your mother. So it's not as, it's close. Okay, got it? Pretty bad things. Number 3, lopa pakpa keba sepana. If you kill a person who's seen emptiness but who hasn't reached nirvana yet, it's close to killing an arhat. Okay. Chuten shipani, to destroy a temple or a stupa out of anger. Deshin shipe kula ngensen kita chuma is close to what? Yeah, taking the Buddha's blood out of anger. Okay. Making a Buddha bleed out of anger. Only one person has ever done it, by the way. Gendungi shelter duwe go talk. Now this is a serious one. To misappropriate Sangha money. To misappropriate Sangha money. not to keep your finances carefully. Thank God we have Rob Russinger. Otherwise, we'd probably do it 1,000,000 times. Okay. What's that close to? Splitting the Dharma. Okay. So it's like stealing things from the Sangha, using things from Diamond Mountain that you didn't ask permission. Okay, things like that. Right. So you got to be super careful around Sangha's possessions. It's very easy to break. That's the only one that would be easy for us to break, you know. So you have to be kind of anal about it, okay? Careful about it. Be super careful about it. Sangha's possessions. Okay. Number 4, you make great piles of good karma. By the way, we're going to go for another half hour or so. Parchen Dupalakyang, the short version of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra says, Kyapso sunam chukni sukchina kamsam diya nuduchung. And we had this before. If the good karma you make from taking refuge properly took form, physical form, it wouldn't fit inside this universe. Okay. I was in high school. We had a really cool principal, and one day he made all the students go to the football stadium, and we all sat there. And then he said, "Let me show you something." And he drove a car onto the football field, and he put some chemical in the carburetor that made all the pollution turn into like a red cloud. And it filled the football stadium in about 2 minutes. And we were all like, because you can't see carbon monoxide, you see? And if you could see it, you'd go crazy, you'd freak out. You'd say nobody should drive any car, you know? It's everywhere, you know? So the good karma of taking refuge, if you made smoke out of it, it would cover the whole planet, you see? It's huge, okay? All right, Chepatar Kemdo, Chepe Penyon, Da Sunapak Ki Malangayat. There's lots of things in Buddhism that are not measurable, not even thinkable. We're going to get to a part in the Dharmakutta Sutta during Kamalashila where he says, Subhuti says, tell me how much good karma you get from studying the Dharmakutta. And Buddha looks at him and says, do you value your sanity? You know, you want me to make you crazy? You want to go to the mental asylum? And then Subhuti's like, it's okay, you can tell me some other time. He said, if I told you how much good karma you make from studying the Dharmakutta, you would go insane. It's very interesting. And Kamalashila has a long description of mental illnesses that you can get from trying to imagine how much good karma you get. Okay, Tlapar Sangeni Shinkyapa Chen Songway, Dela Chumbe Getsakuno Nandaki Masinkyang, Zogchang Tope Gyurnge Padrote. Here is a place in the scriptures where you get sort of a confirmation for karmas that are done without strong intention but are extremely powerful because of the object. Okay, so you can do something flippant towards your heart lama, not very serious, without much intention, but they are so powerful for you. They are such a powerful karma for you that it still becomes very serious. Okay, so that also means, you know, if you make a cup of tea for your heart lama and you're lazy and you don't make it very well, you still like go to paradise for 10,000 years or something, okay? All right? Okay? So there are certain cases where certain objects are so powerful. So just thinking about Buddha when you take refuge is very powerful, even if your motivation is not very strong. It's just the power of the object, okay? Sinkyang Dzogchanto Pigyur, and therefore it will, without question, become a cause for you to reach enlightenment. Okay, even if your motivation is lousy. Okay, Ningje Pema Karpa Dole. We did this part already. This is the Lotus Sutra. And Lord Buddha is saying something very similar to what Jesus said about if the soil is fertile, and if there's no stones, and if you plant a seed and you water it, and you don't want it to grow, it's still going to grow. Okay? You can't stop it. Okay? So if you even just think about the Buddha, the karma is so powerful that you will get enlightened very quickly. Just daydreaming about the Buddha, okay? Even if you don't want to become a Buddha, you will have to be a Buddha, okay? All right. I'm going to skip the rest of that part because we covered it. Katselpa Devu de Devu Mayimba Giram. Do you think that the fruit, the apple that grows on a tree after you plant an apple seed and it grows into a tree, do you think that if you don't want it, it's going to become not an apple? No, I think it will still be an apple. Okay, Dewa Shepa Malaksa. Katsapa. Ananda. Even if you're a person who is all caught up in samsara, you know, all day long trying to get money, trying to buy new clothes, get your new Maserati, okay? Terchin Sipalagawa, and that's all you want. But if you accidentally make an offering to a Buddha, and then you say, I don't want to be enlightened, or I don't want to reach nirvana, you're still going to reach nirvana. Okay? Got it? Very powerful object. Name me, by the way, here, no place, right? Name me means, it means utter impossibility. Okay? It's completely impossible. Even if you don't want it, Ananda, you will reach nirvana. I say, you know, if anyone asks you who says it, I said so. Okay? The last thing Buddha says, I said so. I say so. Okay. Okay. Deta jitam du sangicham de dela semchi ke pe gewitsa wa kepa deta tamje ki devo anyana ne depa yinte tamanyanga ne depa pardu. Then he repeats himself. He says, any good karma you make, thinking about the Buddha, will make you reach nirvana and nobody can stop it. 2 more. Hang in there, okay? Oh, I already told you that one. If you take refuge, you cannot be touched by spirits or humans who want to hurt you. And we talked about the demon with the rope. Okay. We talked about all of those. I don't know why we talked about those. We talked about Ananda Pindana. We talked about the bridge where the demons couldn't get by. We talked about the thief who said, I'm glad there's no more than 3. Okay. Rangre Kela Tugna Jiktag Me Chepar. We talked about that. Yeah, we finished that. Yeah, we finished that. Okay. No. You finished that. Okay, here's where you are. Let's do a little bit more, okay? You okay? Yes. You were hoping for the popcorn at the ginseng. We're up to Jowo Chen, Jobochen. There you go. Yep. Jo Chambi Kyamdo dan Lende Kona Neche war Signe Tembe Senlang. Then Lord Atisha, who helped bring Buddhism to Tibet, he considered Refuge and the teachings on karma to be so important. He almost didn't teach anything else. Okay. I was watching the sitar teacher online. There are maybe a couple hundred standard ragas, and his advice was, he said he had only mastered 2 so far, and he's like 80 in his life. Only 2 songs he had mastered, and it's like that. Atisha only mastered 2 subjects, karma and taking refuge. And people used to call him Venerable Refuge. You know, they just decided not to call him Atisha. They said, we're just going to call you Refuge, Mr. Refuge. Do you know what Scott's secret name is? It's called Including Shavasana. It means we say we're gonna do yoga for an hour, and he says, including Shavasana. Okay, his name is Including Shavasana. All right, Lama Lende, and then other people called him Venerable Karma. They didn't call him Atisha because he only talked about karma and taking refuge. So much Detsu Jo Sembe, he heard it. He heard about this joke, people calling him Mr. Karma or Mr. Refuge, and he said, even my name helps the teachings. Dena Ranrichi ka Lakta Mikelwe, Kedzo Gomlo Chepa Way. So he says, when you get to the day of your death, don't try to remember some deep tantric thing that you didn't practice very well in your life. You got the teaching, you didn't practice it, and now you're dying. Don't try to do it. Give it up. Just take refuge. That's better. Kyamdo namdak che. Just take a good refuge. Rechik langensa mitung wa takchapa yinde. Then it's a decided, foregone conclusion that you cannot be born into the lower realms. Okay. Sangye Wun Kishane. There's a place in Tibet called Wun. This Lama's name was Sangye Wunten, teacher from Wun. And he's very early. Dorna Chiwa Mitapa Daki Gila Makina Sawa Dupa Misapte Chiwa Gila Kewetse Kamdu Sixten Sabayin. Dorna Chiwa Mitapa, if you have not spent time doing death meditations, do you remember any death meditations? Okay, at the end of your book, okay, he says, if you haven't done your death meditations, Daki Gila Makina, then you decide you're getting, you're on your deathbed, you say, oh, I'm going to do Guya Samaja. I need something powerful, I'm going to do Tantra on my deathbed, Misapte. Misap means it won't help. Okay, Chiwa Gila Kewetse, if you're gonna die suddenly, if you get in a car accident or something, there was a couple of people who left Diamond Mountain. One of them hit a cow on this road. You have to be careful, and he broke all the bones here. Do you remember? Did you go through that place with the big rocks halfway to Tucson? Another lady, her car fell off and went down, in Texas Canyon. David Stump flipped his truck on the dirt road here. So 3 people have almost died going home from retreat. Got it? Understand? If suddenly you're sitting there in Texas Canyon with the car on top of you, take refuge. Buddha Dharma Sangha, Buddha Dharma Sangha, Buddha Dharma Sangha, okay? Then at least you'll be born where there's lots of pearls. Okay. Chi sambe dube tap kyang kyamdo le lak me chang sem ra dewe. Chi sam dube tap kyang. If you want a method for getting your hopes, getting your wishes, fulfilling your wishes come true, kyamdo le lak me. There's nothing better than taking refuge. Then there was a bodhisattva named Radenwa. Radeng is a famous monastery where Tsongkhapa wrote the Lamrim Chamo. Okay, founded by Dromtenje thing. Yeah, Radengwe Jetsongkhapa Ngulop. I'm sorry, he was a disciple of Jetsongkhapa. Somebody translated it wrong in some translation of this book. He wasn't a student of, or somebody said that he was a student of Tsongkhapa, and he was born the same year. Then he said, "Mila rewa mache hala suatop." That, I guess it was a, what do you call it? A saying in Tibet, like a stitch in time saves 9 or something like that. It was a saying in Tibet, Nila rewa mache. Don't have much hope in people. Ask the gods for what you need. Okay? Suvatar, nungi piga dampataki nega tatuki dentajela sa kojosinda suvatam nejupa. If you're hoping, like for a new job, or you want your business to do better next year, or you want your husband to wash the dishes next year, then take refuge. And strange dreams come true. If you want your wife to wash the dishes, you can do the same thing. Okay. Na radeng tu michiki kamchu tsupa sokyang dila tene gyawachung. Then he tells some stories. One guy had a lawsuit. It's called kamchu. And he took refuge and he won the lawsuit. Nyurdu tsanggyawayang. And also, if you want to just get enlightened, Data Kimda Chimala Dene Chim. No matter what bad thing happens in your life, if you immediately take refuge, if you get used to taking refuge, then when you have a problem, it will come up in your mind about the second husband. Okay. So generally, whatever you think about a lot comes up in your mind when you have a problem. So if you happen to get in an accident and you're dying, try to take refuge. What's that sutra? Samadhi Raja. Yeah. It's the source of meditation instruction that Kamalashila gives, for example, in his steps of meditation, which you guys finished in the first Kamalashila. You did it too fast. Deshin Gyawayini Kuche Dang. Try to surround yourself with images of the Buddha. Put them on your heater. Heater, right? So kappa's on your heater. I took a shower today. She got mantras all over her shower. It's a good idea. I was enjoying the mantras because it was too early to have hot water. Okay, now it's my fault. I should have done it yesterday. Yeshe Bhaktameba Tuwang Den. Try to remember the Buddha. Think about the Buddha from time to time. Tapa Jesu Temba Komchena. Things that you think about on a regular basis. Your mind goes to them automatically when you have a problem. Okay? Then once in a while, just say out loud in your house when nobody's there, "Oh, Buddha, you're so cool." Okay, seriously, I'm not kidding. Like, go take a walk at Diamond Mountain and just yell, oh, Buddha, you're so cool, And they really like it because it means you believe them. You believe they can hear you. They like it, okay? Every once in a while, just you're driving in your car and you get stuck at the Holland Tunnel, just say that, oh, Buddha, you're so cool, Instead of sitting there like this, might as well use the time, They really like it when you do stupid stuff like that. Because who does that except Buddhists, really good Buddhists, Just blurt out, Buddha, you're so cool, Talk to them. They can hear you. Okay? The world will think you're crazy and the Buddhists will think you're enlightened. Which is better. Okay? Don't do it in the store or something. And then you never know, you might run into Buddhas, okay? You might run into Buddhas. Namshik deni nashing midek na, when people are sick, shila tupe dungyal sorchung na, when they think they're going to die. Sange lani tenpa minyamte, the Buddha, thinking about the Buddha will come to you, you're so cool. Dungyal sorbe topa yongmingyur. And then you can die with a beautiful smile, happily, okay? All right. One more sentence, then we'll do, what do you call it? Questions. And after that, we have a special section on how to go for shelter. Okay. Dharma say, kewa tamje du downjor top. If you take refuge regularly, you will always be born in a good place. Okay. Downjor, right? You'll have lots of chances to practice Dharma. You'll be surrounded by nice people. There will be DCI programs in your city every half hour. Okay. Kyaptang Jal, you will meet the Buddhas. You will have protection. Gyamdo Chepadam Mindal, you will never be born without taking refuge. Tatuk Lamla Lapne Korjo Simrangula Drupte near to Tsangyawar Om. And then quickly you will reach Buddhahood. Okay? All of this if you just take refuge. Where? In the kitchen. In the kitchen. Okay? Don't forget. Alright? You got something special. The whole world thinks they do this at the temple, right? And you understand that you do it in the kitchen. I like it because you can get more to eat there than at the temple. Okay, we have a few minutes for questions. Joel's going to choose, not me. So if he doesn't choose you, it's his fault.
I just took refuge. Geshe, a practical question. I have a close team member in my team who is also a DCI student and come to Lamrim before. But they are, that nowadays there are a lot of this new age thing and they do healing business. Like they can see people's chakras, energy, and they can tell you should do this, you should treat your parents well. Like they tell people nice thing to do. So today you were talking about not mixing things like science versus science with seeds.
Yeah.
I have been keeping my mouth shut, because they also need to do this job to make money. Mm-hmm. But when I try to do the DCI project with these team members, I see their worldview also affect other team members because we are all new. So I don't really know what to do. Should I just stop them, or I don't know what to do. Yeah. And they are very close friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to get your mind into a bind about it. You say, should I kick them out, or should I talk to them, or should I shut up and hope they change? It's easy to get your mind caught in a knot of choices, and the Buddhist method, the taking refuge method, is to examine if you're doing anything like that and stop doing it, and then they will stop because they're coming from you. So you must be doing something, small thing, which is similar in taste. You must be doing something like that, small, because karma grows every day, right? So you're not doing what they're doing, but you're doing something small. And I don't know what it is, but if you focus your energy not on this other person, and not on the choices you have to correct them, but rather focus on how you might be doing something similar in a tiny way, they will change immediately. Okay? It's kind of cool. Alright? So don't let your mind get, should I do this or that, Just find it something similar inside of you. Avoid it slightly and they will stop. Okay. Yeah. Any other question? We have 7 more minutes.
Thank you for teaching us, Geshe.
Yes, dear.
I went to the first.
I didn't see deer here I've been coming here for 17 years.
We just saw 4.
Only 4. I didn't see one.
Okay.
No, not in the valley. I didn't see in the valley. I saw him over here.
Well, I went to the first retreat in Guadalajara. Monica took me, and I didn't understand anything. But now I am very, very happy that now I understand.
Oh, good.
And it's I know it's going to change my life.
Cool.
Thank you very much for that.
Yay.
And thank to all the lovely people that make this possible.
Yeah, thank you.
All
Thank you
that
for
good
coming.
energy and this beautiful sangha.
Yeah.
Two of my closest people in my life died in the term of last year. My mother, a year ago. It was a big and sad loss. And last week, my closest friend, 32 years of friendship, he died too. And both of them died sedated.
They died what? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my mother from a pneumonia, and they had to put some tubes and sedate her. And my friend, he was sedated too. I know that you have to take refuge by yourself, no? And I don't know if it's possible, like in that instance, to do something for them. They are gone now. Mm-hmm. But if I have the same situation in the future, is there something we can do to try to do something for them in that last moment, even though they are sedated? Or in the other case, if they are awakened and they are in the steps before the death meditation, what can we do for them to try to do something for them to go to have another opportunity?
Yeah, good question. I had this problem with my dad. He got lung cancer. And they did a terrible operation, and maybe you heard of it. It's where you cut the back and you break all the ribs, and then you try to cut the cancer out. But they broke his ribs, they opened him up, and they said, that's not going to work. And they just closed him back up quietly, And then I sat with him while he was dying for a couple weeks, and he was in a lot of pain, and he was taking Brompton's solution. Maybe Connie knows. It's morphine, heroin. It's a cocktail of heavy drugs, and but he could still talk with me, And We say it's very similar to Catholic faith. We believe it's very, very correct what the Catholic tradition to confess to a priest just before you die. We believe that's extremely cool idea and very helpful. So if you can get the person to think about things they did to hurt people, and just in their own heart they kind of say, I'm sorry I did that. So my father, in his case, in the World War II, he killed many people. And he never talked about it, but I knew about it. And then I asked him, he's dying, you know, he's going to die in a few days. And I said, Dad, would you do that again? And he said, no, I wouldn't go. I would refuse to go, you know, I would never do that again. So then, according to Buddhist belief, he was giving that up. He was apologizing for it. And then he died very well. So one thing is important for people who are dying. He wasn't religious. And he didn't, I'll tell you a funny story. When he was hunting deer in Utah, and he slipped and he fell on a rock. And then he went to the hospital, Mormon hospital, and they took an X-ray, and the doctor came in and said, "You're so lucky you fell down and hit your ribs because we took an X-ray, and now we know you have cancer. God's glory, you know." And my dad was like, "Well, why the hell did God give me cancer, man?" He was so funny. So anyway, he wasn't religious, and he didn't take any interest in religion, but in his final days, he apologized for hurting people. And we believe that's a very good way to die. So I think that's one thing you can do when people are dying, is to try to get them to forgive other people who hurt them, and think about who they hurt and apologize for it, even in their own mind. So that's good. If they're sedated, or even after they stop breathing, they can still hear you. And in that case, we try to do mantras. We do just some kind of mantra. And during that, mantras have a way to reach the core of the brain and help the person, even though they don't think about it. So if your father believe in Hail Marys or something, then you should do Hail Marys, you know, quietly in their ear. And then it will bring back all these memories of Jesus or things like that. So something they can relate to. If they're Buddhist, you can do Om Mani Padme Hum. If they're Catholic, you can do Hail Marys. Whatever they grew up with, whisper it in their ear. They can hear that. And then after they die, for 49 days, they can hear you. We believe they can hear you for 49 days. So again, it's kind of a cool custom to just talk to them. You know, we believe they can see you, but they can't touch you, and it frustrates them. It's like they are separated by a piece of glass. So they can see you crying, they can see you at the funeral, and they're trying to bang on the glass, and you don't hear it, and they get really frustrated. So if you talk to them and say, and try to remind them of good things they did in their life, okay? Like, Dad, do you remember when you took me, you know, to see my aunt who was sick? Or Dad, do you remember when you saved that guy's life? Or remind them of good things they did for you and did for other people. So even though they're sedated, or even though they're dead, they can still hear you. And so you can still do a lot. You can still do a lot. They say you shouldn't you shouldn't make loud noises, or, you know, scream or things like that. You should try to be calm. Makes them happy. Okay? But that that thing about talking to people who died is a very beautiful practice, you know. I had a woman whose daughter died very young, and she started to talk to her about 20 years ago. She's still doing it. She's still doing it, and she's very, very happy. She's really happy, and she feels like it helped her daughter a lot. Okay, so they can hear you. Okay, one more question. Joel decides. Then we go to bed. Yay!
Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Geshe-lang, for your
You're
beautiful
welcome.
teaching. And my question is, as you mentioned just now, you say because the Buddha is very special, treasure object, so even though we haven't got the pure motivation, we can plant the good seed to
Get enlightened.
get enlightened.
Yeah.
But also, you tell us Buddha is just a little Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's not a real Captain John. So I got confused about it. It's kind
You guys
of
gotta remind me,
contradiction. This is the first question. And second, we are not haven't got any Buddha. Or we treat everybody like a Buddha, like a God. We understanding emptiness, so we treat everybody like a Buddha. So we can plant this kind of seed, even though we haven't got a pure motivation.
Yeah.
Like for example, if I treat you like a Buddha, even though I have some selfish motivation, but I serve you, I work for you, and I haven't got the good motivation, can I plant a seed to get enlightenment?
Yeah, it's
So-
true.
Yeah.
There's many stories of a student who treat their Lama like a Buddha, serve them like a Buddha, and the Lama actually taking advantage of them. Lama just wants money, Lama just wants attention or other things. But the student, from student side, they treat Lama like a Buddha. Then the Lama go to hell and the Buddha and the student become a Buddha. Okay, there's many stories like that.
But my question is, if I'm as a student side,
Yeah.
I have some kind of bad motivation,
Yeah,
not pure.
nobody has pure motivation. Nobody. If you have pure motivation, you won't be here. Okay? Every person born in this world who is not a Buddha, who's pretending to be a normal person, every normal person here got here because they don't have a pure motivation. The proof that a person is defective is that they're here. Okay? All of us. Lama has, a really good Lama has 98% bad, and normal people have 99. Okay? We're all the same, or we wouldn't come to this place. This is not a good place. This is where they send all the stupid students. This is a special classroom, you know. And so anyway, we never have a really pure motivation. It's impossible. We can't have. So it's useful, as you said, to imagine as many people around you as Buddha as you can. And Tantra is all about that. And that's a big subject in Tantra. So yeah, if you even just pretend the people, Geshe Michael is the last person in this room who's not a Buddha. All those people come to DCI program, they're all Buddha. And they just come there so Geshe Michael will talk about Buddhism. So it will help Geshe Michael. You see what I mean? And they are very kind to come and pay the money and volunteer and rent the place, and it's all just a big show. And they're just hoping Geshe Michael will do what he talks about, so we can all finish and have Buddha party. You know, he's the last one left. You know, that's okay. That's great. Yeah, that's true. That's Tantra. Yeah. It's called using the result as the path. So you decide everybody's Buddha already except me, and treat them all like Buddha, and then you become Buddha. Cool? Good question. Next question.